You're all very, very welcome to Brain Injury Matters Creative Writing Salon event celebration called Into Another World. My name is Shannon. And before we launch into everything, I'd like to welcome Johnny to say a few words on behalf of Brain Injury Matters, please.
Good afternoon. Sorry, there's heckling from the back again. Would somebody sort her out? What was that? Was it anything I should listen to? Welcome everybody to the Northern Ireland Mental Health Arts Festival, and the theme of the festival this year is myths. A myth is a story to explain the unexplainable, and today we will have the opportunity to enjoy mythical explanations of our writers, who often use their own experiences from their own lives as a starting point for the myths that we'll hear today. If we listen, we'll hear unique voices, unique perspectives, unique creativity as we're transported into these various mythical worlds that they've all created. I'd like to thank Shannon for all the work that she's done with the group in helping them to create these stories, to the University of Atypical for hosting us, the Arts Council and everyone else who funds us at Brain Injury Matters, and also to the Northern Ireland Mental Health Arts Festival, who has allowed us to be part of the festival today. So I'll hand over again, I believe, to Shannon, who will introduce everyone. Just take your time. Don't rush. It's all recorded, and everybody in the world will see it at some point in the future.
Thank you, Johnny. And I want to also, thanks, Wendy. I want to, I'm really proud of all of you. I'm just going to get to it. I'm really proud and I'm honored and privileged to have been on this journey with you. Some of you I met a few years ago during lockdown, and I started poking at you. Come on, write. You can't fail with me or with yourself. I believe in you. I believe so deeply in all of you, and I am so proud of you. Anyway, but especially I want to give special kudos and acknowledgement to someone who doesn't want any of it, but tough, is Kira. Can we take a moment to say thank you to Kira, who tirelessly, always with a smile, somehow also believes in all of you and your capacity to be creative, to express yourself in the arts, and that whatever myths we have told ourselves and whatever myths, perhaps our own individual challenges of acquired brain injury, including mine, have presented to us. This and your work with Kira is evidence that you can redefine your story on your own terms, and that you are capable of great things. And these stories today are just one little piece of evidence of that. So, these stories have resulted from the same creative process that every published writer goes through. The grueling bits, the exciting bits, the bits that, ooh, oops, I wrote that, and the bits that are, oh my God, I wrote that. So you guys deserve so much congratulations for your journeys, your various journeys. And as I've said throughout this process, every writer's voice is individual. Every writer's voice, every voice of yours deserves to be heard. And it's very unique. And there is nobody else that speaks or writes or has the same perspective in life as you. So on that note, because it's so important to me that everybody's voice is heard and that everybody's voice is visible, today we've got some of the text up on the screen. If you need a bit of that extra and you want to follow along and see how the writers have presented themselves on the page. And you can also listen. So we have a really robust program of about 12 selections of stories. Some of them you'll hear the whole story. Some of them you only get a little teaser. But each one of them are unique. Each one of them are important. And each one of them are a marker in your individual journeys as writers that I really hope continues beyond our time together. So thank you. And thank you all for coming to enjoy a little bit of magic, a little bit of mystery, as we are taken into another world. First of all, with Stephen.
Over the fence. I had over the rest of the fence. I went up to my knees. And Mom, I felt myself. And noticed this. Looked down. I said to myself, my foot, somebody in the mouse. There was a mouse there. I put my foot off. The mouse made a noise. Beat off. I put my foot off the mouse. I made a strange noise. Not off. I did it. I felt sad and day. But I was happy. It was him, not me. The others must have known Asia, because it was temperature over the house was realized I was sick because I was on private property. The house was owned by an neighbor, and it was his by from the birds of the trees around it. The man who lived there was a swine master. And was a man because the British had put his laser. He was known for horsewomen, the British. He got
Thank you. Yeah, great. Fantastic. And I was so proud because we were doing the running order and usually nobody wants to go first and Stephen went, woo. So that's right. So fantastic. And from Fruit Hill House, Lisa, the lovely Lisa, is going to take us into totally another world. And the Tato crisps sitting by the cookies and biscuits will give you a hint when you're ready, Lisa. Come there you go.
Okay. There we go. Clodagh the Dragon's Adventure. Clodagh woke one morning. She had her breakfast. Will I or will I not go for a bit of air? Yeah, I will go on an adventure. Will I get the bus and visit a castle called Tato Factory? So she got the bus at the end of her street. The driveway up to the castle was so long, her feet were sore. By the time she got to the top, Clodagh sees a giant funfair in front garden and can't wait to go on the rides. She decides to go to the cafe first for a rest. She orders a croissant and a cappuccino. Clodagh walks back outside to the funfair. She goes on the bumper cars. Her car is red and fast. Next, she goes on the merry-go-round. Her horse is brown and travel up and down. She laughs as the warm wind blows on her hair and face. She goes inside to the room with lots of different doors leading to different rooms. In each room there was a different flavour of crisps. It was near night. She looked up and saw this dragon in the sky. She felt excited when she saw the dragon on edge. Will this dragon follow me around? And it did. She saw the dragon in the room. It was red and yellow. His claws were sharp, and I just imagining things. She asked herself. The dragon has a magic den. The door opens, and he chooses when he blows his fire. There's steps right at the top. The dragon came out of its den. He flew up in the sky and seen the castle and flew into the castle. Where do I start? He went. Yeah.
Fantastic. Well done, Lisa. Now, I'm going to take you over to Leah's piece, who's going to be read today slowly by Sam. Yeah. Now, is there anything, well, we'll get a little bit of information because we're coming into the middle of the story. Isn't that right, Leah? Yes. Okay, great. Off.
All Wired Up by Leah Batchelor. This story starts by explaining that Angelica is Leah's guardian angel and lives inside her brain. But one day, out of nowhere, an explosion went off, causing Angelica to be thrown in the air and leaving Angelica really confused about what to do. Leah, I'm here. I'm going to get you through this. Just keep your eyes open so I can find my wings. Aha, got you. Now I can see my wings, but how can I get them? There's a loose wire. Can I pull it and get them closer? Got you. That was easy. Just have to attach them back on. Here's someone coming. Let's move closer so I can hear better. Leah, them headaches you were having, it was a brain aneurysm and it's burst and caused an explosion in your brain. Can you try to hold my hand tight? Now move your toes. Even a wee bit? Okay, I'll let you get some rest now. At that, tears started running down my face. I felt so numb, even the electric shocks didn't hurt anymore. I could not believe my eyes. She can't move. Leah can't move. Leah closed her eyes and darkness came. Now that I can fly, I flew to a quiet place to think, what am I going to do? How can I bring light back in here? It's normally bright in here, even when Leah sleeps. I need to go to the explosion site to see the damage. I flew right down the brain to the explosion site, and what I see with the little light from my wings was just wires everywhere, all mixed up and separated from each other. Where do I start? I don't know how to rewire a brain. Leah's sleeping now, so when she wakes up, I'll just have to try to sort this mess. Does red go with red, or is it black and red? This is going to take forever. What does the red even do? Oh no, this is just too much for me. I fell down to my knees, putting my head in my small arms. I didn't know where to start until I heard a noise, then raised my head and shouted, "Hello." I heard, "Who's there?" I asked with a very uncertain voice. "I'm behind you." I shouted, "Who's there?" "Shh, you'll wake Leah." "Now look what you done." As Leah woke, light started to fill the brain, and standing before me was this small, funny-looking man dressed in black with red all round his lips. "What did you do?" I asked. "Me? Nothing." "Who are you anyway?" "Me? I'm Dr. Doom. I've always been here, just smaller, but when the explosion went off, I became stronger and more powerful. I should be asking you who you are." "I'm Angelica." Dr. Doom shows off his power by flying all around, and when he touches things, no shock. "That's not fair. Everywhere I touch, I get a shock," I moaned. "That's because I now have your powers." Dr. Doom said that with the biggest, wicked smile you ever seen. I so want to slap him so hard, but controlled myself. "I've never seen you before. Why are you here? Because I'm here to make Leah happy. Why would she need you?" I asked. "Ha ha ha, you're not doing very well, are you? Just look at the mess of this place." Dr. Doom loved to point out any mistakes and spread darkness all over. "You caused this, didn't you?" "No, I didn't. It just happened. I don't know how, but it did." "Okay, whatever. Now you're here. Help me sort this mess out." I asked Dr. Doom. No, no, no. I don't help. Rule number 1, I make things worse, not better.
Such a fantastic fictionalization and reimagining of what happens to, our neural pathways. Thank you for that, Leah. Now, before James bows out, we get to hear and see his story, a section of his story. Is that right? Transporting us from inside of Leah's head into a cozy cafe on the Lisburn Road. So join us, if you would, into Cafe Chaos, please.
Our story begins in Cafe Chaos, a cozy cafe on the Lisburn Road, not too far from the city hospital. A lot of the clientele are people who work at the hospital. The cafe is a decent size, and the people who use the cafe connect with each other and find it a really friendly place to be. The cafe owner knows all his clients very well and the kind of coffee they enjoy. One day, the villain was in the cafe. He was not a usual visitor. He was different. He looked out of place. He had long curly black hair and a bushy beard. He wore a long black coat and big boots. He came in to get his coffee. The other people felt uneasy. The people who come there don't usually see people come in that way. He kicked back the door and made his way to the counter. The person that worked there tells him of all the different coffees he has for him. The villain doesn't seem interested in what the person has to say to him. He asks for a different type of coffee. He spoke in a very loud voice and was upsetting everyone in the cafe. Unknown to the clients, as he was talking to them, he was brainwashing them while he was speaking to them. He was making them lose their memories. He shouted, "Do what I say," to them.
Okay, well done, James. Thank you. Now, I would love to invite Donna to the mic, please. I know, it goes so quickly, doesn't it? Yeah. There you are. Here. Come a little closer. There, that's great. Yeah.
Me tiger, me survivor. My large movements as I get through this very hot, sweating my large movements, I get through this very hot forest, sweating and so hot, I'm seeing challenges ahead. I mustn't get distracted, but I know how strong and powerful I am. Escaping the boundary walls of trauma, pain, sadness, adjusting to the new me, so very determined to achieve what comes before me and to keep everyone safe. Smelling the leaves, the fresh air. I'm hearing the sound of running water from the beautiful waterfalls. I'm now seeing an opening in the distance. Uplifting, joyful feelings, freedom is close. Thoughts to adapting to new beginnings, so spirit-filled, I run around at all I'm protecting, feeling so proud and such love. I lift my head up to the sunshine and the amazing blue sky. Feeling the heat, we are nearly there. It's been a long, hard journey. They gather close to me. Freedom, no boundary walls imprison me, for as a tiger, I am free. If my protected ones didn't make it, risk separation, not adapting to accept change and seeing positivity of new beginnings. My protected ones welcome their new freedom, safe and joyful. It's been a mentally and physically hard journey, but I did it. No obstacle can beat me, no matter how big. Must keep the faith.
Such a fantastic example of character voice and of tone and emotion in that piece. Well done, Donna. It was great to hear it. Now, Miss Myrtle, I'm coming for you. That all right? So we can stay in the jungle. Will we stay in the jungle for a little bit and see where Myrtle takes us? Yeah? Stephen's going to be George of the jungle. All right. Okay. You all right?
Now we're now going to South America, to a rainforest. My short story has a title of Bertie the Boa Leaves Home. And I have chosen a short extract to read to you this morning. Waiting quietly in the undergrowth and staring in the direction of the road, he hears the familiar sound of human voices and an engine running. Immediately he realises that he could actually be starting on the initial stage of his relocation if only the hunters are willing and able to capture him, and he can stay calm. As he can speak English, one of his powers, he decides to call out to attract the hunters' attention. At the same time, he moves slowly and closer to the road. The hunters appear alarmed and stare in astonishment at this talking snake. They have never come across this phenomenon before and are frightened. There are 4 of them talking excitedly and enthusiastically about how the capture will be organised. He will not resist, but fully cooperate with them. Remaining fixed to the spot, he waits to see what will happen next and notices that 2 of the men have already removed a large wooden crate from the lorry, placing it carefully on the ground. This will be his transport, he hopes. The other hunters cautiously move forward to confirm their plan for a successful capture. They have thick nets and a very large tarpaulin spread on the ground beside the crate. He, again speaking in English to the hunters, suggests that he will go with them and can easily manoeuvre his large body into the net, and so they agree, as Bertie has also learnt that they will travel to the UK by air, along with a multitude of other animals being transported there. Also, they're being legally exported to the UK into captivity. Using a small crane, the men lift Bertie, who is securely in the net, and slowly and carefully lower him into the crate, and then place him on the back of the lorry. The journey to the airport is by road and will take about half an hour, so Bertie is excited to be finally getting started and relaxes as the lorry begins to move. And if you want to know how my story ends, watch out for it on Kindle. I think it'll be there very soon. Thank you.
Rightfully so, Myrtle. Fantastic. And what I love so much also is that there's everybody went through the same exercises, right? But because everybody's so unique and different and your perspective is, these are all different stories. Now, we can take a break from the hot jungle and relax into the decadent comfort of Clare's Queenie comfort. Portbound tray, is that right? Yes, great. Clare's done fantastic work, supported by Donna Marie. Enjoy.
Our story begins in a bedroom lit only by the rays from a full moon in an ancient castle in Port Ballantrae on a cliff edge. You can hear the loud crashing of the waves against the rocks below and the howling of the wind around the walls outside. Inside, however, it is a different story. Going up a staircase and then up a narrower staircase up to the attic, a large heavy wooden door opens to reveal a beautiful bedroom. Queenie comfort, a big soft plush bed, 2 mattresses deep, which is not too hard and not too soft, is covered by a pixie patchwork quilt in many shades of pink, a family heirloom made by Grandma, and it sits in the middle of the room. In any other bed, Clare suffers from painful legs, which results in a poor night's sleep. However, at the bottom of the bed lies 2 beloved, adorable, cuddly cats, Sally Socks and Kitty Lola. They sit on Clare's legs and feet and keep them warm and pain-free. Together, they assist Queenie Comfort in ensuring Clare has a warm, comfortable, contented sleep each night. Clare sinks into the soft, plush mattresses. Pixie patchwork is the safety belt, and Sally Socks and Kitty Lola keep Clare's feet warm as she sets off into the land of Nod.
Again, in a short piece, capturing such a tone of emotion, so relaxing. So thank you so much for that, Clare. Now, Lesley. You're okay, Mark. That's all right. So Lesley's written an amazing piece that went through many iterations, and it's going to be read today by John.
Hello folks, I'm reading for Lesley. Adonis stands at the entrance to his cave and watches the sunrise over Bangor, creeping up the loch towards Belfast. His swarthy skin tingles with the cool of the morning. He's tall, bronzed, long hair and built with muscles to spare. Sunrise is his favourite part of the day. Up sharp, firelit, tea on, and lets his mind wander back to his childhood and to the journey to here and now. Born in the 60s in a small farm, the world was a place of peace, love, flower power, Vietnam, a space race, new music. All this was miles away from him and his family in the little farm. His family, mum, dad, and his nearly twin sister, they were born close, lived close, and have always been close, even in the hard times. Adonis was a man ahead of his time, or perhaps he fell for the myth of recycling. Growing up on the farm, he gets his love of the land and its wildlife, and a want to farm and preserve nature. Getting older, he sees fly tipping and abuses of the land. The out of sight, out of mind, handy hole in the ground or hedge, the weekend fly tippers. Unfortunately, he takes a hardened attitude to the outside world and their waste. They're a long way from his make-do and mend, recycling mind. Eventually, his parents pass and he and his sister work the farm. Never rich, never poor, just working. Taking a bigger interest in recycling and upcycling becomes his magic of escape. He and his sister put their heart and soul into a new life, selling the farm and beginning a business, showing recycling and upcycling. Unfortunately, the world isn't ready for them, and Adonis isn't a great teacher and gains a reputation of being boring and dull. His sister tries to support him, but even she knows her limits. Adonis reverts into himself, financially rock bottom, mentally rock bottom. He struggles to get through the day. As a last chance idea, his sister reminds him of his love of nature and the wonders of its wildlife. Starting with a short walk each day, his attitude to life begins to change. Through his walks, he rekindles the magic and the wonder of nature, and Mother Nature starts her work of repairing a broken man. His walking and rambling take him into another world. He slays dragons, rights wrongs, and rescues the maiden in distress. His life changes and he finds a cave in the hills with a view of the sea and the hill. All at once, paradise. He makes a leap of faith and moves into the cave, living off the land and using all his skills in harmony with nature. Whilst living in the cave, he comes across the odd dog walker and rambler. This gives him a chance to chat and share his views and keep up to date with the outside world. His sister visits and brings news and a favourite treat of chocolate. His sister sees the changes in him and slowly brings up the subject of the outside world and the changes in people's attitude. You'll have to wait for more.
Bravo. Well done. Alexandra, I'm coming for you. Yeah. Okay. All right. Now where has been. Okay.
I know better. As a child, I would hide wherever I could, under the table, under the stairs, taking advantage of the door which would never completely close. As I watched, was that too loud?
No, you're great. You are great. Don't you worry about it.
As I watched my mother do her bidding to command the items around the house with the smallest gesture. My father would come home and rant and rave about more witches being discovered in the town. Mother would nod her head in agreement, but I knew her secret. Whenever the ladies in the town would enviously gossip about how Mother managed to get so much done in a day, I would smile, but I knew her secret. When I was 12, I could make my room clean itself, but I was always careful to hide this, of course. I didn't hear Mother's footsteps one day, but I began to notice something different in how she spoke to me and treated me. We lived in a cottage on the edge of a village in Donegal. Father hated it there and made us known to everyone on every occasion. He went on a hunting trip with a few friends he had made and never returned. Mother and I were much happier on our own. We moved much deeper into the forest. Father would have hated that, but we loved it. Unfortunately, about 20 miles further away was a camping site, holiday home for visitors, something we didn't want. At first it was quiet. Then, maybe a few months later, a group of boys were using the site. There was a little brook which ran through the forest. I liked to visit most days when no one else was there. It meant I could bathe unnoticed if I wanted to. The problem started when some of the boys discovered not only the brook, but me bathing in it. Of course, I had to deal with them in a way of which knows best. Immediately, a ring of fire started to burn around them, and they couldn't escape. I'm sure their parents and the other campers wonder what happened to them. When the police called at our door and asked Mother, did either of us know what happened to them, she just smiled and shook her head.
Bravo. Bravo. Thank you, Alexandra. So our next story is a section from another novel in progress by Rene.
By Rene. Well, okay, sorry.
And Brian will let you know.
Okay. Okay. The Wicker Man by Rene Boyd.
He is 10 feet tall, horns growing out of his head. His face and body are so green he blends in with the trees. He roams around the Wicklow Mountains. They call him the Wicker Man. His eyes glow bright red in the darkness. They light up the sky. His name no one knows. Legend has it his footprints have been seen all over Wicklow, near the grounds of the estate of Lord and Lady Wicklow. People in the village have heard loud roars late at night and howling like a banshee. It is also believed that Lord and Lady Wicklow have a son called Freddie and a daughter called Judy, but no one has been able to get into the grounds of the estate. Grounds. They are unable even to get a glimpse of the children who live in the big house. The children do not even know what is outside the grounds of the estate, but they are told there is danger. What could be so dangerous? Is it because some of the animals in the village have went missing, which no one can understand or explain? What is going on? Where did the thing really come from? And what is it that the people in Wicklow are scared of? Or what? Or who? What are they hiding? And where did the thing really come from? What is going on? The glow of his eyes light up the dark sky. You can hear the sound of his feet as he runs through the village, through the trees. His hounds have been heard all over the village. The people are so scared as it sounds like a banshee. His teeth curl round his. Some people have reported seeing a big monster-like figure sleeping under the trees when they are hunting for food. And also, you have found half-eaten animals. That must be what he is eating. That's when that was decided that Lord Wicklow can get the farmers and huntsmen to go and find the thing that they call the Wicklow Man, the Wicklow Monster, as he has been eating most of the animals and left their fur and bones. That's when Lord Wicklow told his huntsman, "We need to find him and kill him before he kills or harms our people." That's when all the farmers over the village were told that for their own safety, we would be better to keep the children until they found out what is going on. Everyone was on edge as to what is happening and demanded answers. As they were all talking, that's when someone shouted monster had been seen going into the woods. He has also been seen by some people who were out walking, but they were unsure of what it was. As the monster continued to watch the villagers, he was just much scared of them as they are of him. But all he wants for them is to understand that he means them no harm as long as they don't harm him. Pages more, but I can't read it.
Well done, Rene. Thank you. Well done. Lesley, unfortunately, isn't with us this morning, but Christine has very kindly offered to read his shapeshifter story.
Just do it here.
Yeah, that's fine.
The setting is my home. It feels soft like cushions. Inside, it is a normal home, a normal place. One bed, small kitchen, one living room, all rolled into one room. It is a living room which is large and small at the same time, just like the TARDIS in Doctor Who. I was sitting in my living room. Suddenly there was a bang, crash. A thing was in my garden. It was moving in and out of sight. It could cloak itself, but it was malfunctioning, broken. It could see me, but it could not understand what I was, something like itself. I couldn't feel it at first, but I could feel something sharp like hard needles. I could smell something like rotting flesh. It was injured, badly, and I could see it was alive, not dead as I thought. I could taste it in the air, sweet. It was a shapeshifter like me, but I didn't use my shifting for years, for it settled down 300 years ago. It was like me. Suddenly, I looked at the thing. It yelled with a lot of squeal, "I'm dying!" In 5 minutes, it was dead. It looked like a black, slimy thing. I buried it in the back garden in a black bag, and I said to myself, "Goodbye, old friend. I will see you in the future or in the past." I left the garden. I went back to my life in a small or big room. I could go back to my own life in the world, the past, the future of this great world, Earth.
Thank you, Christine. Thank you so much. And finally, last but not least, Wendy, can I invite you up? Yeah? I'll come around this side. Okay. Thank you. There you go. Nice and loud.
Okay. There are moments when writing allows you to be free. Words of inspiration land on your page through the ink. Everything begins to make sense, thanks to the ink. Free from confusion, searching the word to translate my feelings. Then suddenly inspiration comes upon my mind. Freedom from worry, anxiety, confusion, the moment the pen lands in my hand. The ink flows my mind's moment onto the paper. I don't have to think. The ink thinks for me.
That is such a lovely note to close on, Wendy. Thank you. And before I open it up to questions from the audience, because that's what happens at these things, guys. People come, they listen to the writers read, they get a quick minute to ask the writers
for secrets or hints in their own writing. But before we do that, I just wanted to publicly thank Richard and Marty and Emma, who have provided the sound and the visuals and the text on the screen for us today, and have also given all these guys a chance, and if you hadn't had it yet, to be like professional actors in a recording studio, which is like a once-in-a-lifetime experience. So can we just take a quick moment and say thank you to Richard and Marty and Emma. So in the few moments of closing, do we have any questions from the audience for any of our writers about what the process was like, about their inspiration for the piece, or any comments that anybody has?
I'd just like to congratulate every single one of the people that participated here today, and the people that helped, the likes of Leah and volunteer Christine, for the work that has been done and the work yourself, Shannon's done. It's been truly inspiring today. Thank you.
Thanks, Brian. And you?
I was just going to ask you, Shannon, for you, having experienced a brain injury yourself, and then hearing everyone else's stories as they've emerged, how have you found that experience yourself?
How have I found that experience from a writing point of view or from a facilitator point of view?
Just from hearing everyone else's stories and thinking of your own story as well.
Well, the thing probably is, which I said in the beginning, is I'm just really proud of everybody. I mean, I've always written as a way to make sense of myself and the world around me. So then when I got my acquired brain injury, and the world around me changed, and my brain changed, writing was a really important tool to help me work through this new world, and also know, even when I forgot words or forgot spelling or couldn't make sense of things, that I had the page, and that the page didn't judge me. And once I got whatever thoughts were on the page out of my head onto the page, there was always something better there than I thought there would be. And so I'm incredibly proud of all of these writers, and I can't write the things that you write, and that's wonderful because the world needs all of your stories, all of your writing voices. It's incredibly important. So I'm just really proud of everybody, Johnny, and I hope that everybody continues to know themselves as writers, because you are from this point forth, or even before, today. And then that you always got 5 minutes on a timer to sit in front of the blank page and see what comes out. And those are yours, and nobody can take that away from you. And spelling doesn't count, and punctuation doesn't count, right? It's you and the page. So, and thank you for having me. One last comment or question, or yes, please.
When's the publication coming out? Because they were all amazing. Just coming from the festival, I kind of walked in and didn't know what to expect, and I'm so overwhelmed because it was beautiful. So thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
But yeah, when's publication? I want to read it all.
Thank you very much. That probably has to be answered by the organization. And Kira's going, not another funding application, please. But the wonderful thing is we have the video archive of today, so of these pieces, courtesy of Richard and Accidental and Emma and Marty, and we have everything sort of pieced together, and Kira's got everybody's folders of writing and so forth. But certainly I agree there's more to be shared with these pieces, and thank you so much for your interest and support. Any last thoughts? Yeah. Well, it just is on me to.
I just like to say I thoroughly enjoyed the whole thing.
Tell me more, Lesley. You thoroughly enjoyed this whole thing.
Yeah.
Today or
Writing, being able to be creative and use my imagination. It was very good. It was a good exercise. And I enjoyed listening to everybody else's stories.
Yes, and I have to say, and this is credit to yourselves and also to Kira, such a gorgeously supportive group. Anytime we gave feedback, everybody was really supportive, really enthusiastic, and I can tell you, it is hard to get that in writing circles. So you guys have created some magic.
We're just one big family now. Yeah.
That's right. You have enjoyed it, Stephen.
And you've been dyslexic as well, so. And so he says I've been dyslexic and it helped me put my pen to paper.
You've been dyslexic and it's helped you put pen to paper. That's amazing. And your confidence is fantastic, Stephen, through your writing and your imagination. So perhaps it's a good way to end on the voice that we started with this morning, and thank you. And look after yourselves. And thank you for the. Oh, Joe, do you want one last? He's getting in there right before the
I'll
end.
move up there because I don't speak to the mic for anybody's heads. First, it would be very upset.
We need to see your face anyway, Joe.
That's very kind. First of all, I just want to say my name's Joe McVeigh, for those I haven't met before. And I just want to say, first of all, it's been an absolute pleasure to be here and to hear the stories that were magical and that sense of the power of ink and being able to put your thoughts down. And I have to say, I came along slightly late, my apologies, but I heard all the stories and just the variety of the stories and the difference and just the magic. And it was absolutely amazing. So thank you very much for the opportunity to hear it. The question is, can we put them together in a publication? I regret saying this, but I'd love to do that. We had a fantastic piece of work done by other people here, some people here in terms of our poetry book. And I had the pleasure last Thursday of hearing 4 haiku poems written by people here. I have to say, what strikes me are the skills and the talents in this room, both in terms of your artistic work, your written work, your visual arts, and John being asked to narrate stories there, John. I'm sure that you never thought you'd be doing that. So on behalf of Brain Injury Matters, I just want to say thank you to everyone for the fantastic work. Thank you to Shannon. Thank you to Kira. Most of all, to thank you to all the writers who put together the work, and our colleagues from Accidental Theatre who've done a fantastic job in putting it there. And I would say, and I always wanted to and Brian said it from anyway, but thank Christine and Brian and the volunteers as well. I think and it's interesting, Shannon's point of it being part of a writer circle and a creative circle. Sometimes they can be quite challenging places, but there is a sense of community, I think, from everyone here, and that's down to the facilitators, but most of all, it's down to the people here. So thank you very much, and I do genuinely look forward to seeing what comes next, what's the next chapter in people's books and their stories. And I love Stephen's swearing in his story as well, so I'm looking forward to seeing more swearing in any stories they're in, so look forward to that, Stephen. And so I picked up on that right away. But again, thank you very much, and I look forward to the next chapter. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Shannon.